Sharing with Sheri. Welcome back to Sharing with Sheri, and I have a very special guest for us today. Music composer, teacher, writer, producer, I mean, you name it, Charles Watt. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we are at the Music Resource Center right now, right?
Yes,
where you teach lessons, but not just that, a whole variety of things, right? So tell us about MRC.
MRC is the musical oasis here in Cincinnati for 7th through 12th grade. Students who want to get into producing, who want to play instruments, who want to do audio post-production, who want to do podcasting, radio, just about anything in audio. If you fit that criteria, you can become a member for $2 a month, $24 a year. And the facility, we provide food, we provide kind of like a kinship of musicianship throughout the building, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. Talk about some of the rooms in here. It's like 4 or 5 different rooms, right?
Yeah, we have several studios throughout the building. One is the main beat lab, which is the big room. It's kind of like the gym where everybody piles into when you first get started. And then we have silver rooms that have more equipment in them. They're more personal spaces. They're smaller spaces that you can get work done in, made for 2 to 3 people being in those rooms. And then we have gold studios. We have 2 gold studios that have more outboard equipment, bigger monitors, different software that's on there as you graduate. And then we have the platinum studio back here in the back. That's the big boy toy studio. Yeah. We produce commercial music and content out of. And we have several live rooms like the room we're in now that practice spaces where you can get lessons at, or like the band we had, you can set up and gig and rehearse here.
Now you teach not just music production here, but you teach a variety of things here, right?
Yeah.
Not just music lessons. What else do you teach here?
Guitar. Well, as far as music, we teach piano, guitar, voice are the main ones. The other things we teach here is audio editing, audio restoration, some of the things that we teach, and different offerings that we plan on having coming up, such as like DJing, stage performance, as in getting on camera and doing this type of thing. We teach the audio side of that as well, because it's not just video.
Yeah. And I was just like walking through here and I was amazed, like it's amazing here. And you playing the piano was fabulous. When did you start learning how to play the piano?
Very young. I had an affinity for the instrument from listening to Stevie Wonder, listening to Earth, Wind & Fire, listening to Charlie Parker, Duke Ellington, the usual suspects, right? From that era has got me wanting to play piano.
Right. Now you have your own company,
I do.
Vision House Studios.
Yeah.
So when was that created? And tell us about that.
So Vision House became a vision on a vision board in 2015. And 3 years later, 2018, I got my LLC for it. And I had been making music previously before then. And I established that as a company to foster my own independence when it comes to the music space. So it's not just myself, I'm the main person behind it, but I have other composers and other audio people that I work with that we write music for TV, film, and video games. We do pre and post-production. We do sound for film, boom operators and so forth. And yeah, that's the bulk of what we do at my company.
At your company?
Yeah.
So you translate what you do in your company and you teach it and give back here at the MRC.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You've made video games, you've composed for movies,
Yeah.
you've done things for artists.
Yeah.
So name some of the movies you've composed for, because I was really curious about that.
Sense for Hires on Amazon. I can announce it now, just another Saturday will be out in a few weeks. It's going to be limited run through different outlets. I'm not sure what theaters it's going to be in as of yet. That's something small. I've done music for the Snoop Dogg's reality TV, like comedy show. I've done music for Women in Life Atlanta, which is a series that's on Tubi. I've done my other charitable work. I've done work for commercials for like the SPCA in different states for their donations and drives, and I donate music that I write specifically for that. And there's there's a couple more projects that I can't talk about just yet, but I'm trying to think of the ones I can talk about.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we've come.
You've done a lot.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yeah. Where did you grow up at? We have to take it back to your roots, because
West Side of Chicago.
West Side of Chicago. Yeah. So how did music influence you growing up on the West Side of Chicago? Like, what did music feel like? What did you hear, feel, see?
Music felt amazing in the 70s and 80s in Chicago.
70s, baby.
Yeah. Because I come from an integrated neighborhood or integrated community. So one half of the block you would hear soul music, Motown and reggae and stuff like that. Then you go 2 blocks over, you hear more Spanish and Latin music. And then you catch a bus and you hear Greek music, you hear folk music. Like, there's all of these things that culminated in Chicago at that time, and they were budding, from there. So, and that's when you used to ride with the windows down.
Yeah.
Everybody had their windows open in there. Right. You could hear music coming out of the house. On every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I'm just picturing it in my head back in the 70s in Chicago. It's like, I'm just thinking, bell-bottom jeans, the style back then. Okay, that's my style. I'm a total 70s girl today.
I had way more hair back then.
I was listening to your music actually on your website, Vision House Studios, and it just really is interesting, the beats that you really are drawn to. It's almost like a hip hop 70s flavor to it, to be honest, a little bit. So like, what music back then, what artists really influenced you to create some of the beats you make?
George Clinton.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm the funkiest, like the funkiest of the funk. I try to insert it everywhere I go. It stays in my head. That was a later part when I started producing music and I learned music theory and I learned how to play different things and orchestration. And regardless of, that, I always kept those songs close to me. The ones that touch me in a very unique way. And I wanted to do the same thing for other people. So that's not something that's been carried, I think, a lot. Funk and soul, it's a feeling. And you know it when you feel it. You know it when you hear it. It's not a tangible that you can put your hand on and say, this is exactly what that is. And if you don't start with the feeling, you can't end it.
I agree. Where did Charles learn how to make music? Was he self-taught? Did he go to Full Sail? We'll know as soon as we come back. Stay tuned.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Dear moms and dads, we know it's not always been easy, and it's been a lot of hard work. What you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
Everything I do it for you.
Mom, love you all.
No, it's true. Everything I do it for you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Continuing the conversation with Charles, where did he learn how to make music? So I have to know, where did you learn? How did you learn?
Self-taught mostly early, but I was heavily influenced. I will give absolute credit to my dad, my uncles, aunts. They all played, most of them played instruments or sang. So I heard it a lot, but I wasn't in a position, or they weren't in a position to do like traditional teaching. So I had to emulate what I was hearing and then interpret into my own thing. And over time, it fully became my own thing.
Did you just always know that music was just in your DNA? It's just in your heart. This is what you were going to do, period.
Yeah.
When was that moment you knew, like, I'm going to do music and that's it?
Early. The same story I tell all the time. Stevie Wonder Master Blaster, putting that record on. I had an uncle that lived upstairs from us. I was able to go check out some records, gave me some of them, put them on a turntable, and it was something about when that record came on, I had to play it over and over again, and jamming it to the break of dawn. Just, it's something about that song that made me, no matter how many times I hear it, I still feel the same way every time I hear it.
Yeah.
So if I can create something that allows other people to feel the same way every time they hear something I made, my job is done. Like, I sleep good at night.
Now, something interesting about you told me in conversation, you said that you ditched high school. At the time, they wanted you to go to Crane High School.
Yeah.
And you were just like, I'm not going there because, a
multitude of reasons.
But
the main one was that it wasn't a performing arts school.
Right.
So I wanted to go to Curie because that was the only performing arts school that we had at the time before I was going to be the latest, greatest at Berkeley or whatever the other college was going to be. So I protested to go to the performing
What does
arts school.
protesting look like?
Sleep. You can't get me out of bed.
So you were a rebel.
Yeah.
Were you a rebel?
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a rebel?
In that instance, yes. But I still had a mother I was deeply scared of. So I knew to take it to a certain length and that would be it.
Right.
But it got the point across.
Okay.
And I actually started, sidebar, I actually went to performing arts school for art.
Okay.
And then I found out they had music after the fact.
Yeah.
I just knew them for knew the school from having art. And I instantly went to a music major after my first year.
So through art, you found music.
Yeah, they let me in through art because I didn't have any music to show. So it's one of those schools that you have to have a portfolio to get in. So the only portfolio I had was drawing. Was like painting shoes. I was customizing anything I can get my hands on at the time. And I was still living the music, but I didn't have anything to show. Because back then, the technology wasn't there. Right?
If you
didn't have a big recording studio to record in, or you weren't recording on the radio, it didn't exist.
Right.
So I used that to get in the door, and then they allowed me to change my major to music, and I never looked back.
You must have had a deep belief in yourself to say, I'm going to get in this high school through art. I'm going to do, what did you do? Graphic art?
Yeah,
or did you? Okay.
Art. Yeah.
But I really am doing this to get to music.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. Anybody. I want to. At the time, it didn't seem inspirational. And even listening to other people is like, it was just what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I knew what I wanted. And I think that's a rare case for some people to know without finding. And then I knew that one thing. I was not sure about anything else, but that one thing is like, I need to do music.
And what would you say to that person who doesn't know what they want like you did?
Find it early.
Yeah.
Search early. Be fearless. Don't go on what anybody else. Don't let other people. I heard somebody else say this. It's not mine. I don't know who the quote is from. Don't let other people dictate their fears to you.
Okay. Yes, I totally 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Great quote. So you went to Full Sail, actually.
I did. In my 40s.
In your 40s?
In my 40s.
So wait, let me get this straight. So you ditched Crane, went to the school you wanted to go to, a performing arts school, trained there. You're self-taught.
Yes.
And then in your 40s decided to go to Full Sail.
Yes.
Why? At that point, you already had the training, right?
Yeah, I had some of the training, but this industry is about network.
Okay.
This entertainment industry is a big part of who you know and do they know what you can do.
Yeah.
And I had a passion for it, so I was recording for years for free. I was doing shows for free. I loved what I did. I spent a ton of money on my own studio, and I was still just helping people out, and it was a passion. And then in my late 30s, I said, I'm going to make this into a career now. I was doing it full time after I was working at my full-time job, doing that. And I said, I want to do this full time now. By that time, I had enough experience to prove to people, I had the years of experience and the work ethic to put in, and then I just had to have the work to show. So once I got the work to show, the doors opened up.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you suggest, or what advice would you give to young aspiring composers like you who want to compose for major movies, do scores, or want to do like scores for video games and artists? What would your advice be to those aspiring people who want to be like you, a music producer?
Research the people that you respect and love and know. Find out what journey that they took. Take the same journey or something similar to it. There's no shortcut to success.
Right.
You got to put the work in. And if you keep looking for shortcuts on YouTube or just the internet, you have to understand there are no shortcuts to your path. That's going to be unique to you. It's just like being a teacher. I have to learn how different students learn. And then I adapt my approach to each individual as to how they learn. So when you do that for yourself, it's something that you feel like you can give 6 months to, give it 6 months.
Okay.
And then that was something my mom used to say. She said, anything you try, give it 6 months. Don't tap out because it's difficult, because everybody's going to be horrible when you first start, right? If you ever played golf, the first time you go to make that swing, you're not going to hit. Right?
You might, but don't give up if you don't.
Right. You got to keep going at it. So I try to tell that to my students. I tell that to my friends. Sometimes I'm like the fire for a lot of people that I know. They call me when they're ready to quit. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you going to quit? You gave it this much time, or you didn't give it enough time. Give it 6 months. I mean, 40 hours a week, kind of 6 months, not just I do this for 10 minutes on Sunday, every week for 6 months, and then that's it.
And then
that won't cut it. You have to be competitive. Yeah. You have to put, you put your stamp on something, but you have to be competitive. Love what you do. Yeah. Through the work. Work can be fun if you love what you do. Yeah. And it'll keep you going.
Absolutely. I agree with that totally. Yeah. What drives you though? I feel like you need that drive. You need something to keep you going, right? Yeah. To keep you getting up in the morning, to keep you doing what you love to do. What drives you?
My wife and kids.
Yes.
I don't want them to want for anything even after I'm gone.
Family
without
is
turning
so
this
important.
sour. Like, honestly, with what we do, you can make residuals and people after you can benefit from that. So all the major brands and companies that have been around for hundreds of years now, the people that started those companies are no longer here, but their families own that. So Johnson & Johnson, Nike, and whoever else you want to name, they're not sponsoring the show, so we're not shouting them out. But I want to leave something for them that they can take and have a better start than where I did.
And what drives you to keep coming into MRC or keep doing, you know, composing music? What keeps driving you to do that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Like the challenge of to challenge yourself as an artist to create something that didn't exist before and yet make something different than you made before.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you don't have a redundancy. You don't get this loop. And it's a lifetime. Music and being creative is a lifetime of learning. And if you're in the circle, if you're in the community of creators, I think we understand that. And it's very unique. And you can go through the rest of your life doing what you love to do, even on the side. You know, it's something to wake you up in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see his passion very soon. Coming up, Charles is going to show us and take us through his mind as he creates music for us today. And a little sneak peek of the new Sharing with Sheri theme music.
Yeah.
We're coming back on Sharing with Sheri.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Hey, boss. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I said I'm fine.
Since I was little, it was only like me and my parents.
You think you created family out of characters?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna take that, make it into a song. Put me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. Where you at? Where you at? On the way out. In my head, in my head, in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Pop.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Kind of like being a father in this world.
So this right here, I want you to break it down, like literally, how you came up with this.
We were texting, talking about it, and this was after we had talked. And I had this chord progression in my head. Very simple, just that's all it was. I added static and some other things in there.
So when you came up with this specific sound, what were you thinking?
I I was thinking about when we sat down to have coffee that day.
Yeah.
And I was just the vibe that we had at the time was like really, really chill.
Okay.
It was like a getting to know you kind of vibe. And those chords are like just major chords. I put a minor chord at the back because it brings in like an uncertainty almost, or a mysterious kind of thing. Because when you don't know something, it's like it's mysterious, right?
Right.
So that's where that idea came from. And then I had the rest in my head already, but it was that start.
Just the chords.
Yeah, it was just fleshing that out to get the vibe that I wanted.
Okay.
The difficult part was actually finding instruments. Was finding something that was modern, that was contemporary, that was kind of sexy, without being overly trappish or bottom heavy.
Right.
So after that, I had this bass line. You said something simple and sparse, right? Something not too busy.
Yes.
Something I can kind of talk over, you know. And it made me think of like the way that Nathan East or Victor Wooten would play something if you told him something like that. It was really simple, really just. And then I wanted something to go over it that would sit in the back. So I picked like a pad / string, something that would kind of blend in there nicely. And I think this is one that I had phased a little bit. I love this instrument here. Yeah, then I did some tweaks to it for it to kind of wave through. So I want to continue on that vibe, right? I didn't do anything really harsh or really gritty or anything. And then, I don't know if you remember, but the bell at the coffee shop had like this little tone to it.
Yeah.
After the fact. So I was like, let me get like some. So I was just in that moment of when we hung out. And then
real laid back.
Yeah,
real chill, like you said.
And then that's sparse again because people come in the door every now and then. It's not like the door is constantly open and closing, right? So I wanted something that would be like that.
Yeah.
Well, and then I didn't want anything that was going to be loud with it. I wanted to keep it chill. And what's more chill than like a poetry reading?
Right.
Where there's music or something going, right? Do they clap at those?
Yes.
They don't clap at those.
They do.
They finger snap.
Oh, they finger snap.
They finger snap, right? So.
Nice. So it kind of builds to it. Yeah.
And so.
I almost want some bass in there.
And I knew you was gonna say that. So I was like, that's like super, super chill. So let's let the drums do some more work for the bottom.
Okay.
So this is the people that aren't snapping, they clapping.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The drummer comes in.
Yeah.
Then we give you the bottom. This is important because the bass and the kick live together.
Yeah.
So they're
that's dope.
They don't leave each other. They got each other in each other's eyes. You stay right here. I'm staying right here. We're staying right here. And then now I knew at this point you'd probably be doing something like that, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing that would take you up and get you hyped would be.
I love
And that's how. And then I had a few other little bells and whistles. I'll move this over, the track over to then give you the other part.
Oh, so there's
another. And then listen, this is, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but this was hilarious. I found this and I had to put it in. We met. We've been knowing each other for a while, talking online. We finally met face to face, and we had drinks. Right. So, what is something you do when you enjoy a drink that you're having?
What is something?
I'll let you hear it. We'll play it. I bring in a music box.
I love the dips and the layers that you put in it. That's dope.
I had it.
So when you make music, you literally think about real life situations. Like,
I do.
What do you do when you have a nice glass of wine?
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
So I had to, and this is what I meant, like, you know, sharing those moments with people. It's when you draw from those, it's easy to fix them. It's easy to place them. Yeah. So if I'm writing for TV, film, and games, I have to be able to live in those moments. So what does that look like? What does that sound like in the aspect of how people just interact with each other?
And what does it feel like?
Right. So the people that I write music for, I really like to know those people. I really like for us to be friends. So when I tailor music for people, they're like, it's uncanny how that fits me.
Dope.
And it's more difficult with strangers, but as you know, I research, I like virtually stalk people, and I'm like, okay, so what is this? Let me listen to what's on your Instagram. Let me listen to what's on your Facebook. Let's have some conversations about it. Send me your favorite playlist that you're listening to now.
Right.
But for this one in particular, I wanted it to be refreshing.
Yes.
I wanted it to be a departure, but still be something that was sophisticated, because you're a sophisticated lady.
Okay.
Because you know what I mean? Like, you're a classy lady, and I wanted something that was going to have a little bit of turn up.
Yeah.
Right? But
not
still
too,
cool.
Yeah.
Because you're sure of yourself.
Yes.
You know, even within finding your way as I am, we're still sure that we're on the right path. We're sure where we're going.
Absolutely.
So for me, this was easy. It was fun.
Yeah.
And I had to catch it in a moment to where, you know, to encapsulate all those things together. So I play it one time all the way through. Yeah. And then it's a really short piece. It's only, you know, a few bars long. But I love the impact of it. And it was fun to do. You know, that's grown-ups when they finally catch on to it, man.
Don't go away. Stay right here with Sharing with Sheri.
I'm a first-generation Filipino American. You don't always feel you're a part of the country you live in. It's this weird middle space sometimes that you have to live inside of. But when you meet others that are also living in that space, you'll learn to know that it's its own unique space too.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker hordes.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Welcome back to Sharing with Sheri, and just seeing you in your element, it just gives me goosebumps. Like you can see definitely your passion there for what you do.
Yeah.
You also have a podcast.
I do.
And I was listening to that.
Thank you.
So what is the intention with the podcast?
My elevator pitch is that I have casual conversations with creative professionals. And creative professionals, when you get to this level, or you get to the level above, or even a level that I passed already, there's a lot of people on the outside that are not a part of this that don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. And they see you as an opportunity to get where they're trying to go. Well, we're real people too. I like deep dish pizza over New York pizza.
Ooh, Garrett's popcorn.
Yeah. I'm a caramel
oh my God.
kind of guy. So those little things is like, if you want to pass me your demo tape, bring me some popcorn.
Right.
And I'm gonna listen on the spot, right? It's like that. So that dynamic, as I've gotten to know people in really great positions in life that have been doing this professionally for many, many years, people don't take the time to ask them about their day or what's going on with them in general, and in person and so forth, or what they want to get out of any relationship. They want to know, how can you help me get to the next level of where I'm at? And I don't care anything else about you. So my show, I believe, is I'm trying to humanize the people that that are behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's very clear that you are someone who loves what you do, but you also love giving back in some physical way, actually, through your actions, teaching here. And also your podcast, bringing other artists on and highlighting them, kind of what I do as well. So we could kind of relate to that. So I feel like community is important to you. Would you say that?
Oh, absolutely.
How so?
Community is everything. If you don't have anybody that, just like they say, it's lonely at the top, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't bring a community with you, you're going to be lonely with all the success that you garnered. And at the end of the day, what does that matter?
Right.
If you don't have anybody to, pass on anything to. Success is nothing without family or community. And I think we should be gatekeepers of the industry, because people that aren't in the industry, if we don't teach the next generations of camera people, of audio people, of makeup people, of the catering people that do all of these industries that come into what we do, if we don't keep that going, it's going to turn into like the automotive industry. It's going to be ran by robots and not dictated by people. And then we'll lose that human connection. That's what I think. So if I'm one of the people that are able to keep that going and foster kids who want to do what I do, when I didn't have it fostered for me the same way, I feel like it helps me sleep better at night.
And does it give you that good feeling when you're working with the students here?
Oh, they
one-on-one?
Inspire me.
Yeah. How does that feel? Yeah.
We had a whole jam session like 2 days ago out of the blue from working on a 2-note finger exercise.
Wow.
And it turned into like a 30-minute thing, and more people piled into the room. And next thing you know, there's 4 or 5 people in the room that's just playing instruments and vibing, and people giving, advice and so forth. It's catching unicorns. It's like catching a unicorn. It's a very unique thing. And I call it explicitly intimate. because we don't have to share it with the internet. We don't have to tell everybody about it. We can share that moment between us and have it. And it reminds me of what it used to be in the 70s and 80s, right? You had to be there. If you heard about the party after the fact, it was like, oh, I wish I would have went. I wish I would have known. Now everything is on display for the world, and we lose those intimate moments that make these relationships unique.
Yeah.
That's what I think, if that answers your question.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
How can students, I mean, because honestly, I never knew about MRC until I met you. And so it's very interesting. How can students find this place, get information? How can they join in, enroll?
MRC Cincinnati, you can Google that. Music Resource Center Cincinnati, you can Google that. All the information is there on the website. The phone number is on the website. Email is on the website. Like I said, 7th through 12th graders. We're looking at expanding into some different areas that may come about. We will find out about that and see how it goes. We're in a partnership with the YMCA. So we're like a satellite sister kind of thing with the Y. So if you are a Y member, you can feel free to reach out to them and they can get you some more information on that, as well as parents and guardians and other people. If you got a kid that you feel like is musically inclined and they want to explore it, just show up here, take a tour. We're here Monday through Friday from noon to 6 during the summer, from 2 to 7 during the school year, and we'll give you a tour and you can see if we're a place you can call home, because the rest of us do.
Now, more than just the MRC, your own company, Vision House Studios, how can people get in touch with you if they want to do like a score for an independent film or an artist?
My website, visionhousestudios.com, is where you can find all that information again. All of my contact information is on there. What I tell people to do that because I may not be a fit, and I understand that. So go to the site, check out some things, listen to the podcast, follow. You can check out all my social media to see if we're going to gel together, because the business is more than making content. It's about how you work with people. So when you do have those connections, the work comes out naturally.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
visionhousestudios.com is where you can find all information on me.
What's the future for Vision House Studios? What's the future look like?
The sneak peek is that I'm taking this passion, and this is the first time, like you're getting exclusive.
Oh, we're getting exclusive.
Yeah, you're getting exclusive announcement that the first time for the public, I'm going to blend musicianship with healthcare and a part of music therapy and rehab.
That is
but
beautiful.
in a very different way than it has been done traditionally.
Okay.
So all the starving artists that need work, I will be looking for people, not just in the city, but nationally at a point, and we're going to help heal people in more ways than what traditional medicine will.
That just gave me goosebumps. I mean, I have a mother who has a brain injury, and she loves music. She literally taps her feet, you know, kind of like does instinctually anytime she hears any music. And so I think that's wonderful. And I'm definitely going to be your #1 fan.
Awesome.
But thank you so much for being on my show, Charles. And I appreciate you. And tune in to Sharing with Sheri next time. See you then. Bye, guys.